Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Rich Woman Rising podcast. I'm your host, Eloise Tomkins, and I'm a money coach and psychologist. I love helping women in business to get unstuck when it comes to their potential. So often I see women who have all of this unlimited potential, but they find themselves stuck. And oh my goodness, I can relate. I have felt stuck in my life many times, and it is really frustrating. So, I am going to speak to that today around why you might be feeling stuck even when it feels like you are doing all the things. In fact, you are probably doing too many things. Um, because let's face it, fellow high achiever, we like to do all of the things and think that that is going to get us to reach our potential and then wonder why we are still spinning our wheels and not moving. So that is what we're going to be chatting about today. But obviously, we are going to be going a little bit deeper. I will have a chat about how the nervous system and subconscious really wants to keep us safe and why that is something that we need to consider when we think about this idea of stuckness. Because when we start to understand that, then that is really going to help us move forward. So, gosh, where do we begin? I feel like there is so much that we could unpack when it comes to the layers around stuckness. And I'm going to make up words as I go. I think I've already been talking about like unstuckness, and I don't think that's actually a word, but it is now. I'm making it up. Let's go with it. I think it can be really tricky because sometimes we have this perception of wanting to just do all of the things to reach our goals. And it can be really hard because we are these smart, capable, educated, knowledgeable women who have goals that we want to reach for ourselves. And sometimes those goals are just reasonable, like very reasonable. I want to make six figures in my business. Very reasonable goal. Sometimes that goal and dream is even bigger. I heard somebody say that they wanted to, uh, like, I don't know whether it was to buy or rent a super yacht. And I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Like, me too. Sign me up for that. Sometimes those dreams are even bigger. And I think we all have those big dreams, but we don't really let ourselves dream that big because we struggle to even reach our reasonable goals. So if we're struggling to reach our reasonable goals, then my goodness, how are we even going to achieve our big, wild, audacious goals? Now, I just want to be really clear. You can achieve your goals. You can. And you can have it all. You really can have your cake and eat it too. Like, what the fuck is the point of having a cake and then not being able to eat it? Like, what a stupid saying. You can have it all. And when I say have it all, I'm talking about your dreams, your business goals, your financial goals. If you can dream it, you can have it. So let that just be clear. The problem is this stuckness that we talk about, because that is the thing that gets in the way. And it's really interesting because I have been following along on someone's Facebook page and they were talking about the word stuckness and saying, stop using the word stuck. And I found that really interesting because stuck, like we do feel stuck. And I know I have. My stuckness was like, I felt like I was stuck in mud. And I remember explaining this like to one of my counselors years ago. Like I felt like I was stuck in mud and I could see the bank of the river, but I didn't know, like, I didn't know how to get there because to get to the bank, I'd have to let go of like the tree branch that I was holding onto that was kind of keeping me afloat. And it felt like I didn't know how to swim. So I could see where I wanted to get to. I didn't have the tool to be able to get me there. That is stuck. And it's a really shitty place to be because you start overthinking, well, how do I get there? What if I let go of the branch and then I drown? Or what if I try to swim and then there's a current and it just whips me away down the river and I lose all hope of safety? It can be really scary to be in a place where you're stuck, but at the same time, it can also feel really familiar. So, in a way, what I guess I'm saying is we kind of subconsciously like being stuck. Now, I say subconsciously because this is not happening on our conscious awareness. We're not sitting there going, yeah, I really like being stuck. Let me just stay in here a bit longer. I didn't want to be stuck in that muddy river, like holding onto this tree branch. It was not pleasant. And letting go also felt terrifying, which is what happens in our business because in order to release that stuckness, we have to go somewhere that we've never been before. And that's really scary. And so, what we can find ourselves doing is operating under this illusion of working hard in our business. For example, we will do all of these things like jump on our laptop, write a new sales page script that we don't need to write. We don't need to write that. What we need to be doing is things that are going to move the needle forward in our business. But no, we don't. We procrastinate. We tell ourselves that we're busy. And then we say, well, I haven't done the actual task. So now I need to work late to do that task. And then wonder why we feel like we've got no time. We're exhausted. That's often because our belief system about how we need to work are not aligned with our conscious goals. So our subconscious and our conscious mind, not aligned. And that can be really frustrating. And our subconscious will then say, hey, you are going to keep doing all of this busy work because I'm scared that if you let go of that branch, something bad's going to happen. We don't question that. We just go, okay, it sucks here, but okay, all right, I'm good. And then wonder why everyone else is on these crazy little kayaks, just nailing it and getting to the riverbank with ease. Well, how did you get the kayak? I want a kayak. I'm just making this analogy up as I go, so I'm hoping it's making some sense. The thing that we need to realize is that our nervous system actually kicks in. And this is something that can be a little abstract, I guess, because we don't think about it. I think about it because, like, I'm a psychologist. So I think about this stuff and I forget that I know this stuff, which is why I want to share this with you. Because when you do understand this and when you kind of can understand that your body, your nervous system, that you have no control over in the conscious sense, like you can't just willpower your subconscious to do what you want. Because let's face it, if you could do that, you would have done it by now. You've tried, that hasn't worked. So your subconscious is doing all of these things in the background. And what your nervous system is actually doing is trying to keep your body and your mind regulated, which basically means trying to keep it balanced so that it feels safe. Now, your subconscious versions of safety is different to what our conscious version of safety is, because our conscious version of safety is, yeah, bring on the money, bring on the money. And our nervous system's like, yeah, no, that doesn't actually feel so safe to me. And then you're kind of batting your head up against a wall going, well, that just doesn't make any sense. And you're correct, it doesn't make any sense from a logical perspective. But from a subconscious perspective, it makes bucket loads of sense. Let me explain. So, you might logically know that you want to make more money, and you logically know, okay, making more money is actually going to allow me to do the things that I want to do in my life, whether it's to have more time to spend with your family, or to go travel more, or to buy an investment property so you've got somewhere to go during summer holidays, whatever it is that you want. Or even if you just want, like maybe wealth to you means that you can go away for a weekend, or just go down to the shops and buy cherries without having to think twice about doing it. You might logically know that you want more money. But if your body tenses at the thought of money, then you're going to have a really tough time convincing that logical mind that it can just go out there and make money. Because our nervous system collects information through the body. It collects 80% of information through our body. So just think about that statistic for just a second. Because if it's collecting 80% of information from the body, then only 20% is from the brain back out to the body. And if we're up there in our brain going, come on, work harder, why can't you do this? Let's just willpower our way through, push through the fear and do it anyway. That's only 20%. It is not going to happen. So we are setting ourselves up to fail when we tell ourselves that, okay, I'm just going to think my way through it. I'm just going to change my mindset. I'm just going to think positive, or read affirmations, or uh, wake up tomorrow morning and tell myself that things are going to be different. How often have you done that with a diet? I always use the diet example, and every time I do, I hate myself for it. I need to get better examples, but I'm going with it for now. How often have you woken up with the thought, okay, I am going to eat healthy today? And you wake up and you look in the fridge and there's yogurt and there's a muffin, a chocolate muffin. You look at the yogurt, you look at the muffin, you look at the yogurt, you look at the muffin, you go, oh, but if I don't eat the muffin, it's going to go bad because today's the last day that we can eat it and it'll go to waste. Oh, God, better eat the muffin. So you eat the muffin. And if you're one of those health people out there that doesn't eat muffins, I don't understand that, because muffins are delicious. Pick a different example that relates to you. Okay. But we are often guided by our thoughts, and we listen to them and give them so much weight. And we think that, okay, well, this thought is telling me to eat the muffin, so I should do it because my thought is true. And we don't really think critically. And it's all happening like in our subconscious. We're not really aware of what's going on. We are to some degree, but we don't really like pay that much attention to it. We're just kind of operating on autopilot. Yogurt muffin, oh, muffin, okay, cool. And then that's it, it's done. And then we might feel guilty, right? Oh, I ate the muffin. Oh, crap, I wanted to eat the yogurt. Oh, I wanted to, well, I've messed up. I may as well just keep eating crap. I'll try again tomorrow. That's our nervous system trying to keep us safe, again, in a different context. Our nervous system doesn't just do this with money, it does it with everything. It's the reason why we find ourselves attracted to the same type of partner. It's the reason why we find ourselves in the same type of friendship dynamics. It's the reason why we have our financial ceiling capped at a particular level, because our nervous system keeps replaying all of the same patterns, which is why it doesn't matter how hard you work. If your nervous system is telling you, nah, I don't think so, then it doesn't matter what you do, how hard you work, how much you try and think your way out of it, not going to work. What you actually need to do is to be able to shift your nervous system's response to a place of safety, so that instead of having this really strong, intense fight, flight, freeze, fawn response to money, we kind of want to not have it do that. And we can do that. We can change that nervous system response so that instead of being activated, we can shift it. You might be thinking, oh, okay, but I've done that already. Like I did used to attract these really toxic partners. And then I met my partner, my current one, and they're great. Awesome. You have probably done some healing around that. Maybe you've gone to therapy for that. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe you got lucky. Relationships with another person are different. But our relationship with money isn't something that can just miraculously change. It requires intention. It requires us to relearn how to rewire our nervous system. It's kind of like if you have a house, like you've got the wiring in the house, they put the wiring in, and you think it's all good, and then you move in and you turn on a light switch, but the light doesn't turn on in the room that you're standing in. It turns on in a different room, and you're like, what the heck is going on? That's not what's meant to happen. It's kind of like our nervous system. Sometimes we have a switch that gets activated and it turns something on that it's not meant to. Or maybe the light flickers, or maybe the light is too bright. We need to do a little bit of rewiring. So that's kind of what we do with our nervous system. And then when we do that, we get the wiring sorted. The light works where it's meant to work. Happy days. And then we find other issues in the house, which is, it's just our nervous system, just like being a human. None of us are wired without these circuit breakers that happen from time to time. We all have them, and they're all unique to us, but they get in the way of us reaching our financial goals. And the way that we reach our financial goals is through doing the rewiring. Otherwise, that procrastination, self-sabotage, keeping yourself busy with tasks that don't move the needle are going to keep on happening. And so, a way that you can start to shift this for yourself is to start recognizing when you are doing some of these things that you don't want to be doing. And I mean, you already know that you're doing them. So, the next layer of that is to kind of pinpoint what's going on for me. Am I feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now? Is something happening here? And am I procrastinating on this task because I'm feeling anxious or overwhelmed or a bit stressed? Maybe I'm a bit scared. What is going on? And getting a little bit curious, because the more curious that we can get with our behavior and why we are doing that behavior, the more power that we're going to have to bring that subconscious stuff up into our conscious awareness. And we're then going to be able to make more of a change. Because ultimately, what we want to be able to do is take action towards our financial goals without feeling that stuckness. Because it is not a lack of your motivation. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't have willpower. And this is something I struggled with for such a long time, being told that I was lazy or that I had lack of willpower. And, it's not about that at all. It is your nervous system that is misaligned between the mind and the body. And we need to recalibrate it so that it actually works for you rather than against you. And if you want to start unpacking your subconscious blocks that are holding you back so that you can step out of that state of financial overwhelm and understand what is really holding you back, then go check out the free resource that I've got in the show notes. I have put together uh, a really powerful uh, workbook where you will be able to go through and understand exactly what has been holding you back. It'll walk you through step by step how to uncover your blocks so that you can start to build that awareness piece so that instead of being stuck and feeling really frustrated by it, you can actually get to the root of why you are feeling stuck. Because knowing that you're stuck and knowing why you are stuck are two very different things. So go and check out that resource. It is in the podcast show notes, and it's a new resource that I have just developed. So this is one of the first times that I'm sharing it. I'm super excited to share it with you. It's been a long time coming. So go check it out and let me know what you think about it, because I really think that it's going to help you tease apart that relationship that you have with money. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Rich Woman Rising podcast, and I cannot wait to speak to you all again next week. Until then, take care of yourself. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.